With the announcement of Cadillac's entry onto the 2026 F1 grid, the sports eyes turned away from Audi, who chose the perfect time to make huge changes to their team. The German manufacturer is set to take over the struggling Sauber F1 team in 2026 as a full works team, meaning they'll be creating their own engine. That is no small task, but Audi have been saying they're on track to be competitive when the new regulations begin. But recent developments have shown the truth behind what is happening. Today, I'll check out this huge deal to help fund the Audi F1 team and why it might not go far enough. So, don't go anywhere. The Audi F1 team have been ramping up ready for their entry into the sport in 2026. In March of this year, it was announced that they would completely buy out the Sauber team, taking control of 100% of the team. Since then, though, things have been rocky for the fledgling works team. Their 2024 season hasn't been dissimilar to that of Haas in 2021. They've been less than competitive. They have drivers that are lower than 20th in a 20-driver championship, and they don't seem to have any hope of turning it around. It looks like the team is saving money on the current regulations to spend it on the next. However, development of the 2026 cars cannot begin until January 1st, 2025. That is when all the development budget will be plowed into the new regulations, meaning if you think Sauber are bad this season, then you're going to be shocked by how they perform next season. For Audi, though, there is no value in investing in the current car. It doesn't even have their name on it. Instead, they're investing in their engine department and their facilities, trying to get themselves ready for 2026 so they can hit the ground running. At the end of June, they gave an update on how things were going behind the scenes. Apparently, plenty of work has been going on at Audi's Neuburg site, which already features 22 state-of-the-art test benches and a host of high-tech development tools, as well as Kick Sauber's Hinwil facility, creating a genuine factory team mode, according to Audi. Offering an update on the progress, Audi Formula Racing CEO Adam Baker said, "After just 2 years, our power unit, consisting of a combustion engine, electric motor, battery, and control electronics, is running dynamically on the test bench. The Audi power unit has already covered simulated race distances on the test bench. Significant milestones and goals have been achieved, which gives the entire team a good feeling." Of course, no CEO is ever going to go public and explain just how difficult creating an F1 engine is, nor are they going to go into great detail about the firing of the 2 men leading the project or the huge financial difficulties the company is in. At the end of October, news broke that the German car maker, Volkswagen, who own Audi, were planning to shut down at least 3 factories in its home country, laying off thousands of workers and cut pay by 10%, according to the company's union. The deeper-than-expected cuts come as the company faces weak sales and slow expansion in the electric vehicle sector, amid tough competition from Chinese manufacturers. The bottom line is that the company needed to save 30 billion euros to stay competitive, which is roughly $31.5 billion. This domestic factory closure will be the first in the company's 87-year history. Despite being one of the biggest car manufacturers in the world, Volkswagen hasn't been able to fire up on all cylinders since the pandemic and the huge controversy over cheated emissions tests on diesel vehicles. That diesel scandal rocked the company, with its stocks plummeting 20% in one day in 2015. In fines alone, it cost them tens of billions of euros. They're now selling 500,000 cars less per year in Europe than they were before the pandemic. Financially, the company is reeling. Now, you may already know this, but running an F1 team is seriously expensive. Not quite 30 billion euros expensive, but still very expensive. Audi and industry insiders are saying privately that it's currently very difficult to justify the expenditure of a large-scale F1 development program within the group, which is necessary if the company wants to be competitive in the medium to long term from 2026. With everything happening at VW, the F1 team has been in need of support, and Audi have found it, though it's going to cost them a third of their ownership at least. Before I dive into the massive deal to try and save the Audi F1 team before it even hits the grid, if you're enjoying the video and want to catch some more daily F1 news, make sure to like it and subscribe to F1 Reverse. Thanks a lot. So with Audi and its parent company on its financial knees, the team needs to find investment. This is becoming an all too common story in modern sport. What happens when an organization needs money? They head to the Middle East. Audi is on the verge of selling a shareholding in its Formula 1 Sauber team to the host of this weekend's Grand Prix, Qatar. The official buyer will be the Qatar Investment Authority, or QIA, which is a financial holding company of the Qatar state. When Audi finalized the buying of 100% of the Sauber team, the total price of the deal was estimated to be €650 million. It is believed that the deal will see the QIA take ownership of about a third of the team for a price of around €300 million, putting the value of the team at €900 million. The choice of the QIA as an investor shouldn't surprise anyone. Middle Eastern states have been increasing their investment in global sport to astronomical levels over the past couple of decades. The states of the Arabian Peninsula already host 4 Formula One races, have a majority share in McLaren, own a large part of the Aston Martin team, and now they will have a minority share in Audi as well. Whether it is Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, or the UAE, they all have huge investments in Formula One now. There is also the little fact that the QIA already owns 17.1% of the shares of the Volkswagen Group as well. With the Qatar Grand Prix this weekend, an official announcement of the deal is expected imminently. The deal would leave ownership of the team in Audi's hands. It would still be the Audi F1 team, but the financial drive behind the operation would likely come from the Qataris. According to reports, the Qataris have indicated that they're willing to spend up to €1 billion on the project if the conditions are right. There is also little doubt that the headline sponsor for the team would become Qatar Airways as part of the deal. However, if the deal is bigger than expected, which is completely plausible considering the state of VW, then we could have a team named Qatar Audi F1 on the grid in 2026. So what will Audi be doing with the investment? Well, their engine facility is apparently in desperate need of help. Despite those new test benches and power units simulating race distances at the facility in Neuburg, the team are seriously struggling to find the staff needed to get the engine plant up to full speed. That is then impacting the development of their 2026 engine, and the team are now believed to be well behind schedule. There are only so many mechanics in the world with the knowledge and skills to work on an F1 engine. An investment at the larger end of the scale by the Qataris is expected to include them buying the engine plant from Audi, essentially taking the staffing problem out of Audi's hands. If I were Audi or the Qataris, I'd be heading over to Viry in France to the Renault engine plant and handing out a list of positions that need filling. With Renault's operations being closed down and staff outraged by that decision, I'm sure there are more than a few people who would happily make the 650-kilometer move for the right wage package. So what does this deal mean for Audi and F1? Well, in the immediate term, the financial difficulties of VW and the Audi F1 team doesn't bode well for Sauber's 2025 season. Nico Hülkenberg and Gabriel Bortoleto are in for a rough ride next year. For 2026, it is hard to say. The lack of staff at their engine department and the reports that they're behind schedule with development are worrying. There was a lot of excitement about what the entry might bring when it was originally announced. Audi is a very successful motorsport brand, but with high-level firings and issues at the engine factory, it's impossible to judge how they'll actually perform come 2026. How do you feel about the Qatar investment into the Audi F1 team? Are you worried about how they'll perform? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and until next time, drive safe and bye for now.